Good morning, it's Friday the 7th of August 2023 and it's a new week, so let's go over today's trading plan and a quick look for the week ahead. So on my screen at the moment is the MES chart. It's also the same as the ES chart, the futures, S&P 500 index futures. I've got the hourly time frame open. So let's start off with the daily, and we've had this nice little pullback on the daily. So putting in a bit of a pullback, and we've come to this nice area here, and we've bounced right off of that area, and I'm going to do the 618 as well from that pivot to that pivot, and look at that, it bounced exactly on the 618 pivot as well as this major daily area of supply demand. And so we've got the tops, so you can see this area quite easily, tops of these candles and the bottoms of Friday's candles and today's candle. So we're currently having a little bit of a bounce, and we can probably use this area as one of our areas to watch. So we're below the moving averages also on the daily, so looking a little bit bearish at the moment, and we really want to stay below that area there, which is 44.25 area, to remain bearish on the day. And if we break it, we've got a bit of movement, we can probably get back up to 45.55 area. But let's go into the hourly because it's a bit clearer. So in the hourly, you can see my lines on the chart. So the red areas are my supply zones. So these are major areas on the daily, weekly, hourly, where the tops and bottoms of candles merge together, so areas of confidence. And for example, here you can see the tops of these candles and the bottoms of these candles, and a bit of a retest back up, and tops of this candle. So that's a major area of supply, so that's an area I'll be watching. So if we move into any of the red zones or the green zones, which is areas of demand, then I'll be interested in taking a play. So I'm going to quickly recap my chart for today. So the area we just discussed on the daily chart, this 44.90 through to 4500 area, is an area on watch. That's what I'm watching for, a potential bounce. So if we see weakness and we sell off, and what I'm looking for is a candle a bit like that, a bounce candle, bottom tail, indecision, higher volume as we get down, maybe higher volume as we're selling off into this level, and then followed by a bounce back up. Similarly, if we are looking bullish for the day, then ideally we want to be getting this is the perfect area for rejection at 45.60, and as you can see, it's an area of supply, and we can look for a nice rejection of this area. Possibly by the time we get up to this area, it may not be today, could be during the week, this 200 moving average may have caught up, and that will act as additional resistance. So today, probably more likely areas, we're looking at 45.28 to 45.30 for a potential rejection. Higher area of volume, we can see there, and you can tell by looking at this volume profile tool, we've got higher condensed volume around this area. So that's natural resistance. So I would say it's a higher risk trade because we're getting quite close. We're pushing up quite a lot actually in the pre-market now. We were there just a few seconds ago, and we've moved from 45.05 up to 45.17, or 45.06 to 45.18 almost, and that's in the space of 20 minutes. So when I last looked at the chart, we were looking likely to break down and come down this way, which I'm still watching this area. So 45.05, 75 is a potential break and retest short, but with bearing in mind we've got potential supply and potential support at 4500 to 45.93. So that's my first higher risk bounce and or rejection. We've got 45.28, 45.30 for a higher risk rejection, or a bounce on a retest and for a long position. So we're keeping an eye on this area as well. 45.05, these are higher risk plays. A lower lower risk or higher probability play will be this bounce of the 4500, which is what we had on Friday. That's what I'm really watching for. And then if we are pushing up and we do get above this 50 moving average, and technically the hourly may be changing trend, we're looking at 45-44 area, and this is an area of confidence again, but on the hourly, and potential resistance. And then if we break through that, we've got this next area 45.52, 45.53, and that's just purely the bottoms of these lows of these days before we get into this area of supply up here, so 45.60. So that's the areas I'm watching. Just I'm going to zoom out quickly. If we do have a bearish day, we've got a nice bounce, couple of nice bounce levels. So we've got this green zone we've already discussed, and if you're looking on the bigger picture, you can see why it's an area of interest and a higher probability low risk play. So 4500 to 45.94 area, and if we break through that, then I'll be watching for a break and retest of this area. You know, possibly it's a big area of demand, so we could just go sideways, eat time off the clock before we break back down again. So in the next area will be 44.71 area, and that's just an area of convolution again, where we've got tops and bottoms of candles merging together, and that could be a bounce area. And best scenario, if we have a big sell-off today, which can happen, we've got 44.20, well, this area here, which is 44.10 to 44.20 area, big area, so we play by ear during the day. If we get down to this area, there's a potential bounce, and again it's an area of higher volume, but unlikely we get down there today, but that's something for the week. And that's it for MES. So let's take a look at SPY. So I've got some levels drawn up here on SPY already. So higher, so I'll go through my higher probability plays first. So we've got 444 for a bounce and 450 for a rejection, and if we do break through 450, we've got 452 down to 451.60 as a potential rejection area. So these are the higher probability plays, so these are ones I would go in full position and I would want to layer into these trades. Lower probability will be the dashed lines on the screen, so we're looking for a potential bounce at Friday's lows, 44, 446.30 area, and then today's we've broken through another level, so we can ignore that level, and then 451.50 area is another area, but again we got 450, that's a higher probability rejection, and 452.50 is another higher. So these are the areas I'm really watching for. Okay, so looking at the Qs and the NQ, or we can look at both. So similar levels on the NQ. So 15,600 as a rejection area. So probably that can be about there. And that coincides with the sell-off and the high from Friday. Another rejection at 15,731 area and 15,880 area, this area here. And then have I got anything lower than that? No, I've not drawn any in, but let's just do a quick one now. So we've got this area where we're at now, it's a potential bounce, we've already bounced off it actually, and then which is 15,384, and if we get through that, we've got quite a big run down, probably this level here, 15,331, and then finally we've got this area around here. I'd say about probably where that point of control is, this heavy area of volume. This area here is a natural resistance, a natural support area. So 15 150 area. So that's what we're looking for in NQ, and the Qs will probably be very similar. Yes, so the levels on the screen if you want to take a note of them. So 382 to 381 is a higher probability, 378 is a higher risk rejection. As we're kind of hovering around this area, I wouldn't want to take 374 as a possible area rejection, or because it's under the 50, or break and retest long, and that will maybe start of a change of trend. Got this double bottom from Friday, so we could potentially have a level here, and that would be 371.60, and then we've got 370.64, which is this coming from the bottom of this pivot here and the tops of these candles from beginning of July. And obviously got a few other levels if we do break down, if we see weakness today. And the last one I'm keeping an eye on as well is oil, or crude oil. This is the CL futures crude oil. And let's take a look at the hourly. So we've got this double top from Friday, so that's at 83.30 as a possible rejection if we come back up to that area. And we've got pre-market lows probably for a break and retest through, and that area would be around 81.87. I don't trade futures, the oil futures is something I'm just watching at the moment. I'm not trading it, but I've been keeping an eye on it because there's a few levels. I saw this level on as well, which we're coming up to that area now for a potential bounce, and that area is 82.50, so potentially 82.50 on CL. If you're looking to play the mini micros version, then it's MCL. It's a bit like the ES. You've got the ES, where one tick is worth $5, I think it is, or $50 or something ridiculous, and then but one tick will be 10 times less. So I think if CL moves $1, I think that's $1,000 move. But if the mini micros moves $1, then that's $100 move. So it's a bit more manageable for smaller accounts. And I prefer the mini micros because I'd rather buy 10 contracts of MES than one contract of ES, which doesn't give me much flexibility to leave runners or take profits. Because if you've got one contract, you're either in all or nothing, and there's no good or easy way to play that unless you've got 10 ES contracts, and then obviously you're trading at a different level to me at that point. So good for you, and hopefully I'll be at that level at some point as well. But MES and MCL are the contracts I'll be looking at, only because they move a bit better for my style of trading and my account size. And lastly, we got this bounce at 79 on the oil as well, and it's an area of confidence as well, where we've got tops and bottoms of candles coming in. So that's some good levels. Hopefully you have a good day trading, and I will see some of you in the Discord channel later. Okay, have a good day.